Hey everybody, Sergeant Brewer here with the Downtown New Orleans Recruiting Station. And today, my video is about my job in the Army. So for those that don't know me, and they don't know what my job is, I'm going to tell you. My job is infantry. That's the job I chose to do. That is what I love. I've been doing it for 6 years now. Can't really imagine myself doing anything else. So, let's talk about what that means. So, an infantryman, by pretty much definition, is the job that does combat, or it is the job that's going to engage in close quarters or ground operations and engage in close quarter combat to close within and destroy the enemy. That's pretty much like a textbook definition of it. But for my definition, like what I would describe it as is like, hey man, you're the boots on the ground and you signed up, like pretty much when you think what you joined the Army of, like, hey, I'm gonna go to war, I'm gonna be in combat, they're gonna give me M4. Like, that's what everybody immediately assumes when they think of the Army, which is what I actually do. So let's talk a little bit about like what you normally would do as an infantryman. So as an infantryman, you're going to go to Fort Benning, Georgia, and you're going to do a 22-week long OZUT. Now, basic training for infantry is different from other jobs in the Army. So when I said OZUT, that means one station unit training. And what that means for you guys who doesn't know what that means, that pretty much means is that they combine basic training and AIT, which is your job training, together. So instead of it just being 10 weeks long, which is what normal basic training is, they went ahead and just tacked on the 12-week AIT portion, then boom, you have 22-week long OZUT. It's all going to be at Fort Benning, Georgia. So after you get done with your AIT or your OZUT for infantry, that's whenever you're going to go to your next duty station, and it's going to be any station that has an infantry unit. So there is different types of infantrymen that you can be. You can be light, you can be airborne, you can be mech, or you can be wheeled. So my experience, I'm airborne, and that pretty much goes hand in hand with light infantry. And light infantry is, you're not like going with like heavy weapons, you're going light, anything that you can pretty much put on your back and beat feet, go into the woods and do your job to be able to fight the enemy. Now, where airborne is a little bit different from that is airborne infantry, our main job is normally to jump behind enemy lines, hold key control points, and pretty much do behind the line combat and be able to hold off the enemy for a short amount of times until we get reinforcements. So, mechanized infantry, that's when you're going to be thinking of things like Strykers, Bradleys, like they look like tanks, but they're not tanks. And that normally deals with like a lot more heavy weaponry. And then finally, you're going to get like more of your wheeled infantry, and that's like Humvees, MRAPs, and like anything that's pretty much a vehicle that has wheels. And that one can also go with heavy weaponry, so like 50 cals and like mortars. You can put mortars on top of those, and then you can also do like Mark 19s, which is a grenade launcher. So that's like a few things that you could do with the wheeled infantry and also the mechanized infantry. But normally with the airborne infantry and the light infantry is pretty much whatever you're able to put on your back, that's whatever you're going with. So normally it's only going to be like a small tube for a mortar, or a 240, which is a machine gun, and a 249 saw, another machine gun. That's going to be normally what you're going with. And then some like very small, like close quarters weaponry. That way you can be able to gauge the enemy and then be pretty mobile with it as well. So I know it sounds like a lot, but like I said, for me, I love it. I love the fact that I'm in a combat job. I love that I feel like I'm actually able to serve the Army and to be able to serve and protect and feel like I'm actually helping people. So whenever I deployed, and I would deploy to Afghanistan, I actually felt like I was helping people. Like I kept bad guys from doing bad things. And like I said, obviously I'm not always out looking for a fight. That's not why I joined the Army. I didn't join the Army just because I wanted to fight, but I wanted to be able to deter bad people from doing bad things, and that's why I joined. So if you have any more questions about maybe the infantry, maybe the Army, maybe it's not my job in particular you want to ask about, but you want to look into the Army, feel free, hit me up. 504-621-5178.